For the Left Coast Forum, Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech, where progressive voices will come together to tackle the issues that matter most to working families across Los Angeles and beyond. From economic justice to climate action, from healthcare to housing, we're bringing together the brightest minds and most passionate advocates for real solutions and real change. With workshops, 2 major keynote addresses, and a closing reception with great music and good food. It's the Left Coast Forum, where your voice matters and your ideas take action. Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech. Brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the LA Progressive. The future won't wait, and neither should you. Mark your calendar now to be there and be heard. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details.
Girl needs a little thug. Every block boy needs a little love. If he put it down, I'ma pick it up. Can't you see it's just me and you? Panoramic view, that's my point of view, babe. All about me, that's the energy. That's that lemon pepper thing, I'm a 10-piece, baby. Bedroom fully in a bando. He gon' make it flip, do it with no handles. Never switching sides, only switching angles. Ooh, we go crazy like Rambo. Got it tucked, he gave it up, pocket stuck all night. I like, you ain't gotta say it when you know it's on side. She got everything you want in a nice body, fat behind every. Happy
Thursday! You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580 and Throwback Thursday. So we got some throwbacks coming your way, as well as a full plate of culture tea and, you know, maybe just a smattering of petty. We love that. First up, happy birthday, Doechii. What it is, y'all? Does every good girl need a thug? And does every guy need a little bad girl in their life? I wonder. Maybe once. Just for the experience, right?
All for the thrill.
All for the thrill, for the excitement. Just to say you did it, right? And as it is August 14th, there's also another birthday happening today. Happy birthday to 59-year-old Halle Berry. And we're going to get into how she spent her birthday. And trust, it does not involve cooking or cleaning. You know, she had a little shot back at David Justice. We're going to get into that. You know, at least that's what she told him. You know. After he tried to air her out a little bit. We'll get into those details. And Denzel Washington has a new flick dropping, his 5th with Spike Lee. That pairing has proved to be tremendous over the years. Highest to Lowest drops tomorrow. And this interview cycle has been incredible. One, because Denzel just does not give a dang anymore. He's letting it all hang out. He's very free. But in one of his interviews, he discussed why he doesn't need a golden statue to know his worth. So we'll get into that story. And again, as it is Throwback Thursday, right? We got a throwback story for you that includes Todd Bridges taking us back into the day when Eddie Murphy cared so much for him. He wanted to set up an intervention. And he chose Rick James to go and handle that intervention. So we'll get into that story. You know, Eddie thought, Rick was just your friendly neighborhood cannabis smoker. Only to find out, maybe it was more than that. So we're going to hear that story. But before we get into all of that, you know, I have to start the night with a couple of conversation starters, because that's what we do, right? And this first item is really exciting to me personally because we've been talking a lot about legacy, right? Here on the show, and various businesses and creative endeavors, whether it be magazines, entities, etc., and them not being preserved and what we can do about them. Well, the Getty has spearheaded a campaign here to secure here in Los Angeles, I should say, African American historic places, right? The Los Angeles Project secures landmark status for various, what do you want to call it? Places, locations around the city. And so newly represented in the landmark conversation is Jules Catch One. If you know anything about Jules Catch One, it was a revolutionary club here in Mid-City on Pico. Jewel was an African-American woman who was LGBTQ in that family. The club was very supportive for that, especially as far as the Black community goes. A lot of your Black queer celebrities received loved community support starting from that venue. So it is now a historical landmark. Shout out to them. Right here in Leimert Park, Tom and Ethel Bradley's residence has been declared a historic landmark. Tom Bradley was the first Black mayor of a major city, Los Angeles, for about 30 years, I believe. He retired in the 90s, and he did a lot for the city. And it's exciting that his home was right here where KBLA is, in Leimert Park. Black Beverly Hills, that is View Park, Baldwin Hills, Ladera Heights, and by extension Leimert, was the home for many, many, many Black entertainers, politicians, sports celebrities. The list is in the hundreds, literally. And, it's also my home. So I couldn't be more ecstatic that we're adding that particular residence to the registry. And we know that there's another home in View Park where Barack Obama held a fundraiser that is also a historic landmark. And that has sort of been a source of contention over the last few years, because as people sell their homes, as the elders pass away and their children don't necessarily opt to keep the homes, whether it be, maintenance, mortgage, they have their own home, or whatever the reason. Some people felt as though a lot of the gentrification that is taking place over the area is partially because of things like this, these historical distinctions that seemingly make it more attractive to others. But I'm all for it. Also included was the California Eagle offices, the first Black newspaper here dating back to the 1800s, the New Bethel Baptist Church, as well as Stylesville Barbershop and Beauty Salon, which is located in the Valley. And if you know anything about the Valley area of LA County, especially back in the day, wasn't necessarily known to be a home of Black people. And shout out to Royal Jenkins in the chat really quick before we come forward, because how could I forget that it is my absolute favorite NBA player's birthday. I have a 1A and a 1B. Shout out to the legend, the icon, Magic Johnson. It is his birthday today. I aspire to vacation every summer and sail in a super yacht, not just a yacht, a super yacht, all through Europe, the south of France. I love it. He does it every summer. He brings his celebrity friends for a moment. He brings the family in for a moment. It's a beautiful thing. So shout out to Magic. You guys know how I feel about him. And we'll have some Laker news when we come forward, plus some more trending topics and headlines. You're locked in with Jill Munroe.
Your ride with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then You spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now, all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Rita, hot head, let's bring the nail gun over here.
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach, transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal, prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back. You are locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. Okay, you know how this goes down. 800-920-1580. If at any point you want to join the conversation, hit us up on social media. I'm at Stiletto Jill. Of course, you can reach us at KBLA 1580. We also have an app. Download the app. It's fantastic. You can catch back episodes from all the shows on there. So get to that. And sign up for my newsletter, RSVP for credentials. Gives you behind the scenes stuff. Interviews and industry tidbits. So go handle that business. Also, just another update for the station. We are pals. We like to remind you on each show. Tomorrow morning, make sure you're locked in with Dominique DePrima. She's on 6 to 9 a.m. She is giving away in honor of Nipsey Hussle's 40th birthday. Nipsey would be turning 40. LA Metro is issuing tap cards in Nipsey's honor with his image on them. So, this is going to be a collector's item. It honors Nipsey. Make sure you're tapped in with Dominique tomorrow morning. Okay? All right. So, we're going to get into these trending topics and headlines. But, I'm not alone tonight. I have a guest. One of your favorites. You guys have been calling for this gentleman to make his return. And he has. So, Trent Jackson, welcome back.
Hi. Hello. Thanks for having me. We talked about this. I thought I was here last week, but it was clearly 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I lose. Once I'm in LA, I just lose track of everything.
Well, you better get back on Pacific Standard Time, sir.
Yes. Well, it's easy for me to get back into time zones. That's not the issue. The issue is when I get here, it's always some chaos waiting for me, and I can never keep my schedule or keep my lunch dates with people because something always comes up.
Mr. Popularity.
Of course.
All right, so we're getting into Halle Berry clapping back at David
can
Justice
I just say
on her
thanks
birthday.
for bringing up the Jewel and the Catch One situation?
Absolutely.
As a landmark. Jewel just passed away recently, so rest in peace to her. But she was one of the people that welcomed me with open arms when I first wrote my book. I guess that was 20 years ago when I wrote my first book. So she was very influential in helping me get that out there. So I thank you for bringing that up.
Well, Jewel was very influential for many, so I'm glad that you got to experience her up close and personal. Oh, side note, before we get into the topic, shout out to Morris Phillips in the chat. It is his wife's birthday, Miss Lula. He asked that we give her a shout out.
Miss Lula.
Happy birthday, Miss Lula. And Fahima, you didn't tell us what your younger sister's name was, but happy birthday to Fahima's younger sister.
Yes.
She has a name. We're not, crossing that out of the
Fahima's
mix.
sister.
We just don't know it.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get into this topic. So it is Halle Berry's 59th birthday. She is fine, moisturized. I believe she's 59, right? She's not 59. How old is Halle Berry?
People are getting older. Wow. Me included.
59. I'm not. Yeah. She's 59
That's
today.
so wild that she's 59. Like, in my mind, she's still like 40.
It blows my mind too because she is in fantastic shape, still looks amazing. And we've seen Halle go through her relationship challenges, right?
I love it.
But now she and Van Hunt seem to be locked in.
I was about to say, they still. I love that.
They are, and
he is such a nice guy too.
Is he really?
He's a nice. I met Van years ago when his first CD dropped. That had to be about, I guess, 20 years at this point.
Yeah,
because it was right around the time my first or second book came out. So yeah, really, really cool guy. I first met him at the French Connection store in Santa Monica
I
when
remember
that
the
was
French Connection.
that was still a thing. And then he did like a pop-up there too, like a week later, and we exchanged up. Nice, I should hit him up on one of our socials. We follow each other on one of them.
Well, boom.
Nice guy.
All
very,
right.
very nice guy.
Well, he and his lovely beau, Halle, are celebrating her 59th birthday. Looks like an island vacation, all luxurious wellness. They're both moisturized, looking refreshed. There's plants. And Halle, on the post, her caption. By the way, Halle's caption game is A1. It is really, really incredible. She's got this social media thing down. So it was a direct clapback to David's interview on All of the Smoke with Matt Barnes, where Halle naturally came up. One thing I want to push back on, people are like, they ended their relationship 30 years ago. Why is he talking about it? Because it's an interview about his respective career, the highs and the lows, the whole transition, and that was a part of it. Mm-hmm. So I'm not mad that he was talking about it. I mean, that's what these pods are for.
Right.
Especially
with Matt Barnes. He's going to get in there.
And I appreciate that. I love it. Right? So Halle clap, on there, David said, at the time, as a young guy, he, the things, his doubts that he had about Halle, he said that she don't cook, clean, don't really seem like motherly. And then we start having issues, right? I mean, David could have just hired a housekeeper who wants to labor. We're rich. Even if we were middle class.
True.
Who wants to labor?
But you know what? It's so funny that she's a Leo.
She's a Leo.
I know lots of Leo women, and this is no slight to them at all. I don't know any Leo woman that cooks.
Really?
Even Whitney Houston said Whitney don't cook. But I know, like my aunt, she is the pastrami queen. She will order a pastrami. She will crack open a box of Kraft macaroni, a mess. Like, why don't you cook? She was always at my house growing up eating. Like, girl, like, please cook Thanksgiving dinner. I don't know. Even I have two cousins. They're motherly, yes, but cooking is not the strong suit. Sorry, Leo women.
Well, Halle's clapback said, phew.
And
cooking,
at this point,
cleaning.
she probably has a chef. You have to think about it. This was early Halle Berry. She probably didn't cook and probably didn't have a chef, but now I'm pretty sure she has a chef and all that.
I'm sure. Go ahead, Andy.
And I just feel like, shouldn't you know this already before you actually marry this person.
Well, that's what he was saying, like when they were dating. But he said he went ahead. Remember, he said he went ahead with it anyway because it was Halle Berry, and she asked him to marry him. I mean, but I think also though you have to consider that sometimes when you're that young, do you really know what you want in a husband or wife?
You don't.
You may not.
It changes.
You know?
I think every year you get older or every decade it changes because what I wanted at 23 is not what I wanted at 33 or even 43.
There you go. Well, Halle said, phew, cooking, cleaning, and mothering. It was accompanied by the carousel of vacation pics. So basically, did I need to? Did I lose? And what are you saying? This life is fabulous at this point.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that. You know, the two divorced in 97 after less than 5 years together, which at this point, some of the marriages we've seen, 5 years is a good marriage, is a successful marriage, time, you know? He's publicly defended himself before against the longstanding rumors that he was the one that damaged Halle's eardrum. Halle never said it was him. She said it was an ex-boyfriend. He is her ex-husband. We've gone through this path. And for those wondering, David is married. He's married.
Don't look at me for a comment.
He's married, okay?
He did not age well at all. And then I don't like talking about people's looks or whatever. It's not nice because we never know what kind of health conditions people are going through. But before you get on a podcast and start yapping your trap, look a certain way. Bring, you know. Brush
make
your
sure
teeth.
your aesthetic is on point.
Have a nice outfit, you know. Make sure something is blinging, you know. Like
that's not his personality.
Just don't because it looks crazy coming somewhere like when no one's thinking about him.
No one is thinking about him.
And he just came out of nowhere just talking. Like, stop playing.
Look
good.
His career, he played alongside Deion Sanders. You know, there's a lot there with the Atlanta Braves. He was with the Braves when the Braves were Braves. Andy.
Hold on, Trent. Are you saying that David Justice was raggedy on that podcast?
He looked a little raggedy to me.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. David Justice
and we have our days because I look raggedy a whole lot. I might look raggedy right now to somebody. That's whatever, right? So maybe it was just a crazy day for him. We all have them.
Listen, David Justice was kind of fine in the 90s, right?
90s,
or at least extremely attractive. You know, they made a striking couple, but Halle makes a pretty striking couple with anybody.
She's gorgeous in person.
Let me tell you, the first time
it's like
I ever saw Halle Berry, I was at the Century City Mall.
Me too.
We were in valet. not he and I, but not Trent and I, but this happened to both happen. I think she probably lived near there. But we were in valet, and I didn't recognize she was pregnant with her daughter, her oldest child. And we were both sitting on the valet bench, and I glanced over, and I was like, oh my God, that woman is so pretty. And it didn't dawn on me until a couple of seconds, our cars came at the same time and we got up, and I was like, that's Halle Berry. Oh my God.
That is so funny that
stunning.
She's always in Century City Mall. Every time I've seen her, she's always been in Century City Mall. Every time.
And stunning. Morris Phillips in the chat says, whether a man or a woman, if you can throw down in the kitchen and hit home runs in the bedroom, that relationship is going to work. Forget class or education. I mean, yeah, but it also depends on where you're at mentally, what you're ready for. If all you want at that time is, I just want to hit my home run, come home, hit some good kitty, and have a good meal, and half of that is missing, and the other half is very, very, very important to you, you might move differently. I don't know.
I'm just because I saw a clip of that interview, and I'm just thinking about something else that he said that I was like, wait a minute, it's not appropriate for air for what I'm going to say.
Okay.
I'll save it for later.
We'll move around from that.
Yep.
But, shout out to Halle living her best life 1 year away from. So she and Janet are the same age? Because Janet will be 60 next year, right?
Yeah.
Janet Jackson. Wow.
Isn't that crazy? That is crazy. That is crazy that Janet is 60.
Almost. Don't be trying to speed it up.
Don't
be trying to speed it up. She's not there yet.
You think I'm always trying to age somebody. Just calm down.
Don't speed it up.
But it's just, like you've known somebody your whole life. I think of Janet as like 1987 Janet. Like that's how she looks in my head, like still. And even like when I see her, it's like, oh, the girl from '86, right? I just can't believe it's really been 40 years that album came out and that she's almost 60. That's wild.
Well, shout out to both Janet
That
and
means
Halle
I'm
being
old
in
too.
control.
Yeah.
Halle's been open in the past about not subscribing to traditional gender roles. So, it's not just a caption, it's also a rebuttal. Andy?
What's her flavor like? What's she like?
Halle?
Yeah.
Everything.
It seemed to be everything. We got some David Justice. We got little Wesley Snipes. We got Christopher Williams.
Okay.
We have Eric Benet.
That
we have
French guy.
The French guy, yeah. So,
Equal opportunity.
Yeah.
Right.
She just likes, what? I forgot what show I was on. I forgot where I was at. I thought I was at my own studio, and it's not that show.
It's not that show. We
Yeah.
keep it a little more PG-13-ish.
You know what happens when I
Ish.
get in front of a hot mic.
Ish.
Once I get started, I can't stop.
Listen, well, shout out to Halle doing her thing on her birthday.
Yeah.
With her boo. And especially because she's had such volatile relationships. She's been through a lot in them. I love to see
A bounce back.
anybody,
Yeah.
really find that connection and feel at peace. That place where you are with your person and you feel at peace with them, not everybody gets to that. So
No,
it's beautiful
and
when you
then-
see people.
Oh
with
my
that.
God! And then when it gets destroyed after, it's so horrible.
Now, why are we talking about
Because I was just
destruction?
thinking about my own issues.
We're
That's
only
all.
celebrating the love right
I
now.
love love,
Trent.
and then I was like, oh, then it just
Don't be
fails.
depressing. Don't be a negative Nancy.
I'm not.
Don't
I'm
be a
just being
Debbie Downer.
real. I'm being real.
When we come forward, we're going to get into more trending topics and headlines. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're in the know with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. A new eviction protection office has opened in South Los Angeles' Crenshaw area. Black Mayor Karen Bass says the We Are LA program, launched in 2023, has helped over 105,000 people stay in their homes, with more than 1,000 already getting eviction defense at the new site.
Preventing the inflow of people on the street has been one of the greatest challenges.
The program is funded by the city, Measure ULA, and donations. Most of the Texas House Democrats who fled to block a GOP redistricting map they say will harm voters of color are expected to return this weekend after the special session ends Friday. Governor Greg Abbott plans to call another session immediately. And former New York Governor David Paterson is endorsing Black Mayor Eric Adams in the crowded NYC mayoral race, calling him the leader New Yorkers need for protection. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
In Compton, on the 91 eastbound past Wilmington Avenue, it's a disabled vehicle sitting in the left lane waiting for the tow truck. Traffic is stopped from Main Street. Downtown Los Angeles had trouble on the 10 westbound at Alameda. Disabled vehicle there too. That's in the right lane with traffic stop and go from the 60. In South Los Angeles now on the 110 northbound at the 105. Wreck on the right shoulder. 4 cars involved in that. And you're slow and go from Redondo Beach Boulevard.
Attention 405 drivers. From 10 p.m. Friday, August 22nd to 5 a.m. Monday, August 25th, the 405 will be down to 3 lanes in both directions through Sepulveda Pass. Expect delays. Plan ahead, take alternate routes, or use public transit. Follow at Caltrans District 7 for updates.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
A federal appeals court in New York City ruled Thursday morning that the NFL can be put on trial for a civil lawsuit filed against the league for allegations of racial discrimination in the hiring process of black head coaches. The lawsuit was filed in 2022 by Minnesota Vikings defensive coordinator Brian Flores on behalf of black candidates who claim unfair treatment in their pursuit of head coaching jobs. Fleury's lawsuit includes the Denver Broncos, New York Giants, and Houston Texans. In 2022, Fleury, the former head coach of the Miami Dolphins, was interviewed by the three teams but passed over for the job each time. When Fleury's interviewed with the Giants privately had already made the decision to hire current coach Brian Daboll. The Giants situation led to Fleury's lawsuit. As the NFL approaches the 2025 season, only 5 of the 32 teams have a black head coach. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, y'all, come on. Here come the drums.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we fight the power every day.
Yeah, gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey.
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it! Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power! Fight the power! Fight the power!
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. If you need help getting your resume in order, finding job training, or landing a job, we've got 3 great options for you. First, the City of Los Angeles has WorkSource centers across the area offering free job support. The California Workforce Development Board can help you with everything from GED prep to vocational training at no cost to you. On the federal level, the Department of Labor's American Job Centers offer a full range of services for job seekers and businesses alike. Visit careeronestop.org, or for more info, just call California's Help Center or visit cwdb.ca.gov or call 916-657-1440. For the City of Los Angeles programs, go to ewd.lacity.gov or call 213-744-7300. All these services are free to help you get your next job. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah. Floyd. All these jewels that I spit, fools that get chipped. Can't change the game cause it's rules to this shit. When you follow suit, whole crews that get rich. I'm the proof, check the views in this bitch. Yeah, as I cruise in my 6, need 100K a show, that's my muse when I spit. I'm the type to make the news when I trip. Probably be my downfall, a short fuse on the clip. But I'm working on my temper, put some jewels on my wrist. Cause I'd rather be that on the cruise with my boat dock, only food is a fish. On the coast of Greece, where the views is the follow me home, come and view the abyss. Take a walk with me, take your tool just to take a it ain't safe telling to get a grip. Hard-headed, gotta take a bag and take a where if you let it mark you out, you labeled as a can't take a straight back, so ain't taking They see you with it, probably take a nigga You got that on your record, probably take you for your chick.
Welcome back in. Happy birthday, Nip. We early, but we're celebrating. Oh, because I won't be here on Nipsey's birthday. But Keith will be in for me. So make sure you guys are tapped in. Give him all the love. All the love.
I'm going to troll in the chat.
Don't troll. Be nice to Keith. Again? So, a reminder. Tomorrow, make sure you catch Dominique's show 6 to 9. Dominique is giving out. Los Angeles is commemorating Nipsey. This is historic, right? So you need to get your piece of that. There are 2 different designs Dominique is giving away tomorrow morning during her show, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. I know you're there anyway, but be there and sit up straight in class. Get your fingers ready to dial in and get your tap cards. No, I don't know how much is on them. Just get them.
Well, shout out to Jackie DuPont Walker. She is one of the Metro members that went on the news media and did a press release about the whole Nipsey tap card. And she's also a member of my church.
Shout out to that. Yes. We love that. We love a righteous with a little bit of community tie.
Yeah, shout out to Ward and me. I grew up in that church. I owe you guys a tithe, so as soon as I get a check.
Boom, boom, boom. All right. Oh, final thing to the Halle Berry, the whole saga.
There's more?
No. This is just my final thought, right? It can be greater later. And I think that is one of the lessons that we can glean from the situation.
That is true. And I think, it's so funny because I think as a society, I think that they kind of age people out and it's like, oh, well, you have to find love by this time. It's not true. You're absolutely right. And the older that you get, I think sometimes the better the choices are, because you have people are more settled in who they are, more settled in a lot of ways.
And you understand yourself better.
Yes.
Hopefully if there was a representative you were sending out all of the time or you weren't exactly sure where you were in this space of life, usually at a more advanced age, you have all of that in control.
Yeah.
So shout out to that. We've been hearing a lot about you're washed after 30, you're washed after 35. I would bet money neither of those 2 individuals. And we can add Stephen A. in there for his.
I started having more fun in my 30s. Actually, as a matter of fact.
You're a man. Doesn't count. Darling.
Oh, wow. Not sexist.
Well, no, because because men become, in these viewpoints, men, when they become older, become distinguished. Women just get old. And so they're saying that women don't provide.
Have you seen some of these people?
I have.
Some of these washed.
I have.
Okay.
And the other point is they would not be moving Halle Berry out of the way.
No.
At 59.
No.
Because she's over 30 and washed. I know they wouldn't, so just wanted to throw that in there.
Oh, come on. Be cool.
All right, listen. I mentioned Highest to Lowest is dropping in theaters tomorrow. It is the 5th collaboration between Spike Lee and Denzel Washington. Also stars Jeffrey Wright. A$AP Rocky is in it. Ice Spice. Denzel plays a mega mogul music industry executive. And some things happened. It's based on a novel that came out, I believe, in the 60s. Scenario was different, but slightly as far as the employment. But, drops in theaters tomorrow, hits Apple TV Plus early next month. And we know that Denzel is a 9-time Academy Award nominee, 2-time winner, right? Should be 3, but 2-time winner. And when asked, how he feels about his Oscars, whether, he goes and looks at them or anything like that. He said, I don't do it for Oscars. I don't care about that kind of stuff. I've been at this a long time, and there's time, and there's the time when I won, and there's the time I shouldn't have won, and then didn't win and should have won. I probably didn't say that right. Let me run that back.
No,
there's the time when I won and should have won, and then there's the time that he didn't and should have won. He said all of this just basically reaffirms man gives the award, God gives the reward. He said, on my last day, Oscars aren't going to do me a bit of good. September 5th is when it drops on Apple TV Plus. But I do find, we often have these conversations round and round about acknowledge it, the Grammys, da-da-da. Mariah Carey has recently come out and said something similar, although some people seem to think that it's shade aimed at a certain individual that is the most Grammy award-winning person in history. I've never heard of those two not really getting along, but Mariah was like, the Grammys don't matter in the show or the awards. That's what she recently said. And Denzel saying this about the Oscars. And we put so much pressure and emphasis on them. I don't think it's that they don't matter. Obviously, these two individuals are in the latter stages of their career. So they've been through the highs, the lows, the rigmaroles. So at this point, it doesn't feel the same. What did I do?
Rigmarole. Mariah. See what you did there.
Shout out to Mimi. I remind you, I'm a lamb. But I just think that, one, it is fatigue of the cycle, and two, the arguments over it. It does show some prestige. Everyone wants to be acknowledged for the things that they do. But at a certain point, does it really determine your career? We know how it can impact it, but does it determine what the quality of work that you put out?
No. It's so interesting that Mariah says that. I think people like her and Denzel, they're at like you said, they're at a certain place in their career where they can say that and not really be concerned about that because they've kind of done it all. But to Mariah's point, I know people that have won Grammys, and I've talked to them after their Grammy wins, and I'll just say this: it's not all that it's cracked up to be. Because, you know, for the couple of people, I've talked to two different people that have won Grammys. So one saw a career dip after the Grammys, and one just saw a plateau. So it really just kind of depends on what it means to you.
Facts. Listen, when we come forward, like I said, it's Throwback Thursday. So we're going to get into Todd Bridges, the former star of Different Strokes. Todd had a, pretty vicious drug issue.
How is Todd
back in the day? He looks to be great. I don't know personally how he's doing.
He's one that I would like to be friends with.
Todd Bridges was one of my early TV crushes. I loved me some Willis.
He seems like a solid guy.
Love me some Willis.
I read his book. I was devastated.
Different Strokes was the first TV set that I ever went to.
Wow.
And I got his autograph, but he wouldn't come out and meet us.
Where did they film that at?
I was 10. I have no idea.
Okay.
In Hollywood somewhere. Yeah. I don't remember what studio it was. But we'll get into the details of Todd's intervention story put together by Eddie Murphy, where he sent Rick James to go take care of it.
Why on earth?
Are you ready for the hottest entertainment scoop in Los Angeles? She's bringing you exclusive interviews with today's biggest stars, behind-the-scenes Hollywood insights, and all the entertainment news you need to know. She's breaking down what's trending, what's ending, and what's just beginning in the world of entertainment. You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Join the Black Hollywood Education and Resource Center for its 32nd annual Sisters Are Doing It For Themselves Short Film Festival, featuring 22 powerful short films by emerging Black women directors. See their visions, hear their voices. Saturday, August 16th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Writers Guild Theater, 135 South Doheny Drive in Beverly Hills. For more information, call BHERC at 323-957-4656 or email BHERC@bherc.org. Tickets may be purchased at eventbrite.com or at the door.
Nearly 7 million Americans aged 65 and older are living with Alzheimer's disease or AD. But did you know that Black adults aged 65 and older are twice as likely as white adults to develop AD? You may be able to reduce your risk by managing conditions like diabetes and high blood pressure, being physically active, eating healthy, and exercising your mind. To learn more about AD, the importance of early diagnosis and intervention, and a potential treatment option, visit treatallzearly.com. That's treatallzearly.com. This message is brought to you by AZI.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. LA County's new Justice Care and Opportunities Department, or JCOD, is here to support justice-involved individuals and their families. The JCOD Support Center is now taking calls at 1-833-LACJCOD. That's 1-833-522-5263. Available 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., the Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support. They offer court reminders, connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and childcare. The JCOD hotline provides personalized help to connect you with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available every day at 1-833-522-5263. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Now the world don't move to the beat of just one drum. What might be right for you may not be right for some. And man is born, he's a man of means. Then along comes two. They got nothing but their genes, but they got different strokes it takes. Different strokes it takes. Different strokes to move the world. Everybody's got a special kind of story. Everybody find a way to shine. It's a money that you got, not a lot. So what? They have theirs, you have yours, and I have mine. And together we'll be fine, 'cause it takes different strokes to move the world. Yes, it does. It takes different strokes to move the world.
Rest in peace, Dana Plateau. Rest in peace, Gary Coleman.
Now that
Rest
right
in
there,
peace, Charlotte. I can't remember her last name. Charlotte Ray.
You heard
Okay.
Charlotte Ray, yeah.
And Conrad Bain.
Yes.
So
Gary
that's
Coleman
some-
should still be here.
Man, that story's crazy.
That was insane.
Listen, I forgot to mention this earlier, but we're at the 42nd, anniversary of New Edition. And in honor of that, in Boston, they are changing the name of the streets Ambrose and Albany to New Edition Way. It's a block party happening on August 30th. That's where the Orchid Gardens Boys and Girls Club is located. And, you know, New Edition grew up in Orchid Park. So had to get it in for my people. Shout out to Morris Phillips in the chat. He says, would I rather have money or fame? So here's the thing. Money, of course, right? Because you can buy your way to fame. However, fame gets you access at times to a lot of places that money doesn't necessarily get you access to.
Correct.
There's a lot of, fame can get you. Let's say I'm a famous athlete, right? And there is Michael Rubin, right? Who heads Fanatics. Can give an endorsement deal, or we could do a partnership, some crypto stuff, whatever, right? Michael Rubin would want to sit next to me at a dinner because I won an NBA championship, right? I might be able to get to the charity dinner, but am I going to get the seat next to Michael Rubin to get the conversation kicked off to go into these business conversations? Dwayne Wade talked about how golf and wine, right, and his status gets him to sit next to people that he can learn from, people he would never be in conversation with simply because they respect what he did on the hardwood. And so that's what I mean. Yeah, money can get you into a lot of places. I'm not trying to overlook that fact or say that it can't. But there is an aspect of fame. I already said I would pick money, but there's an aspect of fame
that supersedes money.
That supersedes money in some areas and can get you in places, can get you a respect. Because just because you can get someplace or buy your way in doesn't mean that the people involved will respect you.
Yeah, and it's a lot of the times when you have money, people don't like you, and they don't like the fact that you have money, even if you are famous. So I would, in my youth, I wanted to be famous, but now as a grown person, it's like, no, give me the money, not the fame.
Right. Forensic Accountant in the chat says, are they changing the name or placing an honorary plaque above the original name? They said they're changing the name. Not sure. Andy, you look like you had something else to say. And shout out to Alan Thicke, Robin Thicke's daddy, for pinning the theme song to Different Strokes. Forensic Accountant added
Oh,
that in.
wow. Growing Pains, Alan Thicke?
Yeah.
He was a musician himself?
Yeah.
Wow. Anyways, I felt like you kind of shut me down a little bit.
I
but
didn't mean to.
But I just still feel that, okay, who's the Michael Rubin?
Yeah.
Okay, so he might not sit next to me, but I'm in the same room.
No, and that's what I said. It can get you there. You'll get in the room. But if you want to do business with Michael Rubin, you're going to have to get an introduction, charm your way over. As the pro athlete, I'll get sat next to him or at his table, and he'll want to talk to me. I don't have to convince him. There's a lower barrier to connection.
And then sometimes you got handlers blocking the, a certain
Outside,
person,
yeah.
so you can't even get close and have access. So,
But you're right. I mean, getting in the building is half the battle.
Yeah.
So, shout out to that. Okay, listen. Because I thought this was hilarious, right? I saw this on Golden Era Stories on Instagram, right? And I'm not sure what podcast Todd was on, but he shared the time when Eddie Murphy was really concerned about him. We know Todd had a heavy drug addiction back in the day that spanned decades.
maybe that's why he didn't come out of his dressing room that time.
Possibly.
Probably when it first started.
Probably.
Yeah.
I believe it. It makes perfect sense.
Especially with the parents he had. Yeah,
Rumors.
that his book
talked about, like,
I was so upset. I remember reading that book when I was living in DC and just not only crying and throwing the book, but just angry at his parents.
Dana, Gary, and Todd will forever go down as some of the most tragic stories of child stars.
Yes.
Just how they ended.
I'm glad that he survived, though.
Me too. So, Eddie Murphy was worried about Todd, right? And Eddie and Rick James were good friends. For some reason, Eddie only thought that Rick just smoked weed. But we know that's wrong.
You know what?
And so he sent Rick James over to do an intervention
He
for
sent
Todd.
that man with the braids, with the bang braids,
With the braids
and the beads to go over there and get this man some help.
Look,
really?
Rick James' birthday was just the other day.
I love Rick James.
Okay.
He's one of my favorite people, for real.
Favorite.
But stop playing. Seriously?
He thought he was all right. All right, let's get into the story.
You obviously had this rough period of addiction and with the law and everything. You told me the story you got to tell about when Eddie Murphy decided to help you out.
I've known Eddie Murphy for a while too, right? Eddie was like, man, we got to get Todd some help, man. He tripping. So he's like, okay, we got to find somebody who knows about drugs. And they're like, everybody's like, naming Rick James, send him a Rick James over there. So they send Rick James to my house. Now, if any of you guys know anything about Rick James was getting higher than I was at the time. So Rick comes to my house, opens his car door up, and all this smoke comes out. I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, what you need? He's like, hey, brother, I want to talk to you. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. When Rick spoke, you listened. I mean, Rick was loud. So when Rick spoke, you listened. I'm like, okay, come on in. And he goes, let me see your stuff. And I didn't know what Rick was saying. I'm like, what do you mean my stuff? He goes, your stuff. I'm like, Rick, what are you talking about? He goes, your drugs, man. I go, oh. And I'm like, why am I? He goes, let me see it. I'm like, all right. So I showed him. He goes, I don't want you killing yourself. That's too much. Let me take a half of that. Take it from you. Kill yourself. And then he started talking to the girl on my couch, and she went with him. And I'm like, this is, I already killed Rick at this point. So Rick leaves, and I'm like, what's going on? What kind of drug intervention was that? He took half my drugs and left.
Left with his bride.
With the girl.
That's a true player for
Is
real.
that the same one that he burnt up with the pipes?
That was another woman.
Yeah.
I mean, but remember, here's the thing. I talked about Rick and when we were talking about the Diddy trial, because what happened, and Rick said he was high out of his mind. He was accused of kidnapping, torture.
Her name was Hijazi. I remember that.
The girlfriend
Pearson,
or the woman?
Yeah, the woman that whole trial situation was behind that girl. And that was he did time for that, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. But was brought, like, it took a minute, but was brought back and accepted into the fold.
Yeah.
Right? The only reason why I don't think that will happen with Diddy, and it's really because of one thing. Because nobody, I'm not saying nobody. People do care, of course, about what happened to Cassie. But what I'm saying is realistically, people don't care about women and domestic violence. They'll still go, you know, and yes, I believe people can change. And I believe if people have atoned and taken accountability and done the things that, you know, they have to be allowed to re-enter society, right? But why I don't think that will happen with Diddy, and I'm not advocating for you to do that, just setting this up, I want to be clear, is because of the nipple play. Otherwise, I don't think anybody would care. But because he was utilizing the offspring of the escort as nipple moisturizer, people ain't gonna rock with that. Andy said, wow. Wow. Well, he did, you know. Also, really quick, Kim Kardashian, you're going to see her break down. Kanye West is dropping a documentary, right? He's dropped the teaser from it. It's only going to be in theaters. And it's called In Whose Name? And in it, there's an emotional clip that we see in the teaser where Kim tells Kanye, your personality was not like this a few years ago. And he follows it up and says, never tell me I'm going to wake up one day and have nothing. Kim was obviously distraught and stressed out. That man took her through it. And now he's going to show you parts of how he did and why he's never taking his meds again and how he formed, you know, what Sunday service and all of those things. Hits theaters, only in theaters, September 19th. I can't imagine it's not going to end up on a streaming service, but it also is going to feature intimate glimpses of the former couple's strained dynamic. All in all,
why is this a train wreck that I want to go watch?
I actually want to see it. I'm curious.
I just like myself for this. Why am I interested in this?
You can catch up with Trent Jackson.
I need to go back to Lake Michigan.
On Trent the Artist on Instagram. Listen, and just like that, we've cooked, we've cleaned, and mothered our way through another KBLA night. Let me make it clear, though. I don't cook or clean, but I dress my butt off and my walk is mean. I'm just playing. I can cook, but I do hire help. You can't cook.
I've had your food before.
I can cook, but cleaning, we pay people to do that. What are you saying? No, I'm just playing, but I'm still neat. Listen, tomorrow, Keith will be in for me, but make sure you are here, 6 p.m. Coming up next is the voice of reason, here to give you that good insight that we all need.
He's nice. I just ran into him in the hallway.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Attorneys for Peyton Gendron, the white gunman who killed 10 black people in a 2022 Buffalo, New York supermarket attack, want federal charges dropped, citing a lack of minority representation on the grand jury. He's serving a life sentence on state charges while prosecutors deny any bias in jury selection. A federal judge is refusing to block Alabama's ban on DEI programs and certain divisive concepts in schools and universities, ruling professors and students had not met the standard for an injunction. The law allows objective discussion of the topics, but educators say it violates academic freedom and has altered lesson plans. And Black Maryland Senator Angela Alsobrooks tested positive for COVID-19 and will miss events this week, including a Thursday town hall and Friday's county's conference. She's recovering and working remotely while events will continue with Senator Chris Van Hollen attending. Get BI